Hey everyone, Teo here. Today I'm reviewing the XPPen ACK05 wireless shortcut remote. And this is an upgrade over the previous remote, the AC19, which was released a few years ago. First of all, disclaimer, this is a review unit provided by the company, and this came bundled together with the XPPen Artist Pro 14 Gen 2, which I have reviewed a few days ago, and this, by the way, is one of the best pen displays in the market right now. Do check out this review if you have not. The link is in the video description below. If you buy this separately, it's US $49.99, and the previous model, which is still selling, is $35.99. And this is also bundled together with the XPPen Deco Pro Gen 2. So what are the differences between the two models? Well, this new model has 10 shortcut buttons, whereas the previous model only has 9. And the design for me looks better. On the back, you can see this USB-A wireless receiver, which is very difficult to take out. This uses 2.4 GHz wireless connection. This does not support Bluetooth, that's the power switch, and this uses one AA battery. The new remote supports Bluetooth 5 wireless connection as well as cable connection. That's a USB-C port. And if your computer does not have Bluetooth for whatever reason, you can use the included USB-A Bluetooth receiver. Your computer will of course need a USB-A port, otherwise you will need to get a USB-C to USB-A adapter for this. With the new remote, there is no holder behind to store this, so make sure you don't lose this. I like the minimalist design of this shortcut remote. The corners are rounded off, the surface is matte textured, the build quality is pretty solid even though everything is made of plastic. There is this dial here at the corner with a button in the middle that you can use to switch between the shortcuts for the dial. There are 10 hotkeys which you can see are not labeled. If you buy this remote separately, there is actually a piece of sticker with smaller stickers that you can use to stick onto the hotkeys so that you can label the hotkeys. This hotkey has a little extrusion here so that you know this is the hotkey in the center. This is quite thin. On the back, there are 4 rubber feet with good grip on the table. The battery is not removable. And here at the top, there is the power switch toggle. When you turn the dial, there is this audible feedback. So you can turn the dial by using the edge, or you can have your finger on top. There is actually this texture which will help you get some grip on the dial. The keys use scissors switch mechanism, and there is good treble and feedback. This is a comfortable remote to hold in hand, and your thumb can reach the hotkeys on either edges. And you can choose to use this remote in whichever orientation you prefer. Let's talk about the driver, which is available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. If you are using a pen tablet or pen display from XPPen, you can actually use the same driver to configure the remote. Inside the XPPen driver, you just have to switch to the appropriate device to customize the device. If you are using a pen tablet or pen display from another company, maybe from Wacom, Huion, or some other company, you can download a separate standalone driver so that the XPPen driver will not create any conflicts with your other driver from another company. So you can customize up to 4 shortcuts for the dial and use this button in the middle to switch between the 4 shortcuts. The pre-programmed shortcuts are for zoom, scroll, brush size, and rotate. Rotate only works with Photoshop and not with other drawing apps unless those drawing apps actually have a keyboard shortcut that is assigned for rotation, in which case you can input that keyboard shortcut here to get the shortcut to work with the dial. When you press the button in the center, a pop-up will appear to show you which shortcut you are using. This is where you can change the orientation of the remote, and by default the orientation is 0 degrees, so this is the default landscape orientation, where K1 is here at the top left and K10 is at the bottom right. So let's say I want to switch this to this orientation where the dial is at the bottom. Now K1 is at the bottom left and K10 is at the top right. So when you customize the hotkeys, make sure you assign the correct hotkey to the correct physical key. You can customize up to 10 shortcuts. You can input your own keyboard shortcut, choose between the different mouse functions. Under Other, you can choose to show the driver, switch between the brush or eraser, pen or eraser. Switch monitor will allow you to move the cursor from one display to another display when you're using dual display setups. Precision mode will move the cursor much slower so that you can draw with precision. Switch roller function is actually the same function as this button, which will allow you to switch between the different dial shortcuts. Key group switching will let you switch between different groups of shortcuts, which I will talk about later. And set preview will show you an overlay with the keyboard shortcuts that you have assigned to the remote. Groups of shortcuts can be created, and each group will have up to 10 shortcuts, so you can create up to 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of shortcuts, and you can assign one hotkey here to switch between the 4 groups of shortcuts. You can also create shortcuts that are specific to apps. For example, you can create maybe a total of 40 shortcuts for Affinity Photo. To do that, just add that app here, tap on the app to select it and create your shortcut group. And tap on the second app you want to use and create the group of shortcuts for the second app, and so on and so forth. So when the drawing apps load, the shortcuts will load automatically as well. And this is quite convenient because many drawing apps actually don't share the same set of keyboard shortcuts. Multiple keys can be used in combination. For example, if you want to save a file, you can set S here. You can have Control S to save, Control Shift S to save as, Control Alternate S to save a copy, Control Shift Alternate S to export. Press and hold repeated keys do not work. So for example, I have square bracket set to these 2 keys here to adjust the brush size. So if I press and hold, only one key is registered. This is unlike using a normal keyboard where you can press and hold and the keys will repeat. So if you, for example, want to adjust the brush size with the hotkeys here, you will have to press repeatedly, in which case it's just easier to use the dial. The advertised battery life for this is 300 hours, so if you draw 8 hours a day, this can last 37 days. And if you don't use this for some time, there is auto sleep functionality which will turn off the power by itself, and you have to use the power toggle at the top again to power this on. So chances are this is going to last for around 2 months or more, unless you really draw 8 hours non-stop each day. So is this an essential buy? Well, this shortcut remote definitely works well, and I did not experience any glitches while using this. As to whether this is essential really depends on how you like to work. For example, if you are using a pen tablet or pen display that does not have hotkeys by the side, then having this around can improve your productivity because this gives you the shortcuts that you can use very quickly and very conveniently. Personally, for me, I still prefer to use an actual keyboard for my keyboard shortcuts because having this means I have access to all keyboard shortcuts. Whereas with this shortcut remote, you can customize up to 40 shortcuts from the 4 groups of shortcuts, but you have to remember which shortcut is set to which key, which will take some time to get used to. But that's just a minor issue. Anyway, bottom line is this looks good and it works well. Alright, if you guys are interested to get this, you can buy it through the affiliate links that I have for you in the video description below to support my YouTube channel as well as the work that I do here.